Hello, my spirited, soulful Sagittarius. Welcome, welcome. It is Sachi the Scorpio, and I'm here to deliver your guided healing tarot for the month of July. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The more energy that you send to me, the more energy that I can send to you. And thank you so much, Sagittarius, for all of your support and likes on this channel. I know that you've been in the top 3 for a while. You are number 4 in this video, so just a reminder that in the top 3 videos that get the most likes of the guided healing segment, you do get a different percent off of the extended. First is 50%, second is 25%, and third is 11%. And then of course the top 3 also get a twin flame bonus. So if this resonates, please do click that like button. But, oh, also, you know, watch your sun, moon, rising, and Venus if you're working on a love situation. But let's hop into it, Sag. This is what came out in the cleansing ceremony. We had obsession come out. So it seems like you're in a repeating thought pattern that is obsessive. Sometimes this can be looking in the mirror, but I didn't really feel like you're being self-obsessed. I take this as a screen that you're looking at. So some of you might be obsessed with something going on your phone or something like that, and becoming really engulfed in a mind vice of these obsessive thoughts. We had Black Flower Fragrance come out. So if you have Scorpio placements, I highly suggest you check out the Scorpio reading because this was kind of the theme card of their reading. And this is one of my Black Magic cards. Well, one of them. This is the Black Magic card for me. Black Flower Fragrance is when, you know, instead of having love in your heart, there is fear. And when there's fear, we try to control things, right? And Black Magic, you know, it gets an incorrect reputation is what I want to say. So, you know, black magic is any time that you do any sort of spell or manifestation or affirmation or whatever it is that supersedes someone else's will, right? When you're doing light work and, you know, doing, you know, even shadow work, right? But when you're doing light magic, I guess, whatever the opposite, non-black magic, right? There's so many different types of magic. If you're doing any type of magic that's not black magic, you're, you know, affirming positive things for yourself. You're, you know, accessing your highest vibrational genome. You're accessing your highest vibrational timeline. You are becoming the best version of yourself. If any of your, you know, obsessive thought patterns, which is also a spell, right? Repetition, have to do with controlling somebody else's thoughts, controlling somebody else's actions, whatever it is, that's black magic. Okay. And, you know, when that came out for Scorpio, you know, there's a bit of a philosophical quandary here. And, you know, Sagittarius, if anyone's going to understand it, you will, is, you know, it's a philosophical gray area in a lot of ways, because at first pass it's like, oh my God, you would never want to supersede over someone's will, right? And then, you know, some people are like, well, I have free will to do that, so then, you know, that's also okay. But also, you know, take an example of, let's say, you know that this person A is going to go hurt person B. Okay, if you do magic to stop person A from hurting person B, are you doing a good thing? What if they're going to kill somebody? What if they're going to rob somebody? You know what I mean? So yeah, right? It's just one type of magic, but it looks like that's kind of what you got yourself into, is a bit of black magic. And again, it stems from when the heart does not feel safe. It does not feel love. Instead, it feels fear, which is why it tries to manipulate the reality external of it, instead of, you know, tapping into love and understanding everything is going to work out just fine. And then we have atonement. So it seems like some of this black magic that is going on, which seems to be quite an obsession, has to do with feeling like someone needs to pay for their sins in some sort of way. So this could be someone who has done you wrong. This could be multiple people who have done you wrong that you feel need to atone, and that they need to pay for what they've done. And this is very similar to the 10 of Swords for me. So it's like, you know, you want them to basically get stabbed in the back, and then that's the end of the story. Okay, that's really what I'm getting here. We had the Empress come out in reverse, which is telling me it's causing your divine feminine energy to not be where it needs to be. And, you know, divine feminine energy is surrender, is flow, right? When you're trying to control somebody else, that's not a healthy divine feminine energy, right? So this might also be influencing your ability to create, right? This is a bit destructive. And so you know, if your energy and obsession is going towards controlling someone or some situation, then you're not going to be able to be utilizing your Kundalini and your creative potential to manifest your physical world. So I feel like your world might be kind of, I'm hearing, falling apart. And like, I heard falling apart, but it kind of looks like when the Matrix, yeah, kind of like I've seen different films where it's like everything becomes pixelated and just kind of falls away. That's kind of what I'm getting about. It's like dissolving. Your reality is dissolving in some sort of way. And it might be influencing maybe your fertility or any sort of things in your physical world, really. But again, it's a divine feminine blockage. We had the Knight of Swords come out in reverse. So I'm getting that it's like, but you're unwilling to kind of talk about it in some sort of way. With the Page of Swords in reverse, because the divine feminine energy isn't right, you're still stuck in this Page of Swords energy, but it's not like you're actually trying to master this at the moment. And the Page of Swords, you know, is the step right before you become the queen or king, but the page really doesn't care about what he says or anything like that. He just swings his sword and, you know, doesn't really care who he hurts or who he, you know, cuts or things like that. I'm getting that you're trying not to be careless about that. You are trying to stab the back with precision, you know, because you feel like they deserve it in some sort of way. Whew. Sag. We have Nine of Cups in reverse, which is telling me this is an emotional cycle within yourself that has yet to finish. And, you know, it's costing so much of your energy that your true wish fulfillment in your heart isn't manifesting because of this. And then we have the Page of Cups coming out telling me that you could be dealing with some like unevolved masculine and feminine energy when it comes to the emotions. This may be causing you to overindulge in negative emotions. It may be causing you to overindulge in mind-altering substances or codependent relationships. Again, this is a cycle that has yet to be completed just by you, but it looks like your masculine and feminine energy are both involved with a situation that's just really emotionally not very stable here. Could be a Pisces. Yeah, and then we have Weavile coming out using Claw Rend. And to rend something is to like split it in half. So I feel like this darkness has kind of cut things in half, some sort of dark energy. And this card actually, so it's a dark type, and I felt black magic energy when it came out. If you can tell, it's kind of like, you know, it's been burnt and stuff. I actually used it in a spell once, not in black magic at all. It was a protective spell, but just because it came out, you know, with dark energy, I was getting kind of black magic energy, and I feel like this black magic energy has kind of cut things in half. And then we have Pampur using Scratch telling me, again, with this Scratch, the claws, like this is also ripping open your emotional body as well. So yeah, there's a lot that we are going to get into. We're definitely just scratched the surface so far is what I'm hearing. Whew, Sag. So I hope that retrograde season's treating you well, right? The Gemini Mercury retrograde ended, but we're still in the shadow period for about a week and a half longer. We also have Saturn retrograding in Capricorn, Jupiter and Neptune retrograding in Pisces, and Pluto retrograding in Capricorn. Sorry, I said Saturn retrograding in Aquarius, Pluto retrograding in Capricorn. Sorry about that. And then Jupiter and Neptune retrograding in Pisces. So, you know, the second half of the year, of the calendar year, is retrograde season. And, you know, it is definitely a time of sort of redoing certain energies, right? Relearning lessons, things that are coming back in order for us to change the quote-unquote destiny of the situation. So anyway, happy Cancer season. I hope that the last eclipse season, which was in your axis, right, of Sagittarius, Gemini, went well. But now we are in Cancer season, which is all about the feelings. So this month, what we're going to do is take a look into how are you feeling. We're just going to look into where your feels are right now, and then we're going to look into what is the emotional root of the situation. And then in the extended, we are going to take a look at how we can heal the emotional root, and then of course some advice on how to manifest your highest vibrational timeline. So let's see, how is Sagittarius feeling? And of course, we are using the Black Mirror in order to do this. So just a trigger warning, you know, this is the emotional root reading. So the emotional root is bound to be a very tender place. So please watch at your own discretion, okay? All right, let's see how Sagittarius feeling. Atonement in reverse. So I feel like you really don't want to have this sort of, you don't want to feel like you stabbed someone in the back. And I feel like, yeah, I feel like you think that people have to pay for their sins, people that haven't, in order to have a better tomorrow. I am getting that you're trying to focus on what you can do today in order to not get hurt or stabbed in the back. There may have been someone who was like the Page of Swords that kind of, you know, swinging it around, didn't care who they hurt. And I feel like you're really trying to, yeah, work in this moment in order to have a better tomorrow. I also take this as the twins card. So part of you might be on your twin flame journey that are really working in the present moment for a better future. So I definitely feel very forward thinking, very much not, I'm getting with this atonement card in reverse, it's like you don't feel like things that you've done, and you don't, right? Like you don't feel guilty about your own past, which is good. There are still people that you think need to pay for their sins, but in regards to the way that you're building your tomorrow, you are working very hard in the present in order to manifest a higher vibrational timeline for yourself. Like I definitely feel that, Sag. Tell me more about how Sag is feeling. Ooh, High Priestess and the Emperor. Yeah. So your intuition, this is very powerful energy, Sag. I feel you in your power. Like I feel like that full moon that we had with the eclipse really released things that no longer serve you. And now you are like, okay, I'm looking forward to a better tomorrow. With the High Priestess, it feels like your intuition is very, very spot on. You are deepening your spiritual power on the Divine Feminine end. We saw the Empress in reverse, right? Which is saying, you know, the fertility, the, you know, manifesting the physical world is pretty, you know, off. But in regards to the spiritual power, you're doing it. You know, like I said, there was some black magic sort of energy, which no judgment, right? It's just, you know, I don't do it. I respect free will, but I also respect your free will to do whatever you want. So yeah, it looks like you're definitely getting into some mystical arts and things. And with the Emperor, you're in your divine masculine power. Your divine feminine seems to be fully utilized towards, you know, spiritual endeavors as the High Priestess. But, you know, as the Emperor, it's like your divine masculine is becoming very authoritative and like whatever I says goes. Like that's just it. Maybe you're not happy with a masculine energy in your life that is very authoritative. So your own masculine energy is matching that to try to combat it in some sort of way. And the Emperor, you know, there is something to be said about ruling over its terrain. I feel like if you have a business that's going well, if you have, you know, some sort of, it feels very, very stable, right? The Emperor is the highest form of divine masculine energy when it comes to the physical realm. But he's also someone who will burn a village down to the ground. Right? Like, oh, you're not going to bow to the king. Okay, I'm going to burn your village down. And that includes innocent people. You know what I mean? So it does feel like you're a bit on a rampage. Again, I feel like this, sorry, I don't mean to sound like on a rampage. But yeah, a little bit. It's kind of like, you know, get out of my way. I'm going to burn you down. And it's because you deserve it is what I'm hearing. Like, that's how we get to a better tomorrow. This is what has to happen today sort of energy. I just really feel like you're like, okay, you're not going to submit to my authority. Well, then you don't get to exist. You get a sword in your back. Let's see, what's the light energy? Fighting energy in reverse. Yeah, you are not allowing anyone to fight with you. It's like, nope, you can't fight back. Like, trainer grasp memory, like you can't fight back. You have to just submit, period. Like, that's basically what it is with the Emperor. And the High Priestess and the Emperor are a very powerful pair. I feel like it's your own feminine and masculine energy. It's possible that you could be in a partnership of this kind, but I really feel like it's just you. It's like, no, don't even try to fight back. You can't. And that's, you know, part of black magic is controlling people, of like, they can't even fight back. You're superseding their free will, right? You're going above their ability to choose for themselves. With Trainer Grasp Memory, Trainer does indicate someone else here, and I feel like part of this has to do with someone else who was in your heart chakra. This is very ancient. Like, I've actually gotten this, this is the third reading in a row, and I take this as like your ancestors asking you to tap into your heart chakra. There's something very ancient here that is coming out of your heart. And again, we saw that some of it has to do with fear rather than love, which is, you know, kind of causing this black magic energy. But, oh yeah, they want to do a little twirl. So yeah, there's a lot going on here of, I feel like this is part of what has been in your lineage. It's like all your ancestors also are like, yep, just burn it to the ground sort of thing. You might be tapping into some ancestors that want some sort of revenge. Let's see what's the shadow here. We have Sawaddle using nap. So yeah, it's funny because I was feeling that baby energy. So I do feel like you're taking care of yourself. You might be thinking about having a baby or something like that. Or, you know, like, I need to build a better world, like, for my eventual children or something like that, or for my children. But with nap here, I do feel like your heart chakra is a bit asleep here. And with Sawaddle, this is like a caterpillar Pokemon, so it does feel like it's kind of in the beginning development stages of some sort of lesson where eventually you will become a butterfly from it. Right now, it's very much of like, okay, I'm just going to eat everything around me until I'm ready to go into a cocoon. So let's see. It says, this Pokemon makes clothes for itself. It chews up leaves and sews them with a sticky thread extruded from its mouth. So yeah, I'm getting kind of that ancient type energy. Like, I don't know if you have ancestors that like made clothes. Maybe you're considering making clothing for yourself, or like doing a business venture that involves branding or clothes or something. But yeah, I feel like, you know, it's talking about making clothes for itself by da-da-da-da. So I feel like there is this, what you are consuming and making is preparing you to go into a cocoon eventually, but you're not quite there yet. You're still in the caterpillar stage. I'm hearing you're the hungry caterpillar right now. It's like, I'm just going to eat anything in my path. That's a very Emperor energy. Except really you're like, okay, I'm going to destroy everything in my path for a better tomorrow. I mean, I don't want to, maybe not destroy, but if something's in your way, yeah, it's getting destroyed. I mean, yeah. It's really, you're just blazing the way. Let's see. What's the emotional root of the issue here? We have parasite and revenge. Yeah. So I feel like you were in some sort of parasitic relationship. You're seeing a parasitic situation where one person is really just leeching off of you or leeching off of another. It feels like bigger picture here, Sag. It kind of always is. You're always sort of in these philosophical kind of mindsets. Again, you're building a better tomorrow, and that's like a better world, right? And it even though it does feel like for yourself, it also feels like for the general population as well. But anyway, so you're noticing these parasitic sort of energies and you want revenge. And that's what I was getting with that atonement. You're like, okay, I'm going to get revenge for what was taken from me, what is taken, like, whew. Again, like, there you are with the two swords ready to just put it in some bats straight up. This is very much like the Two of Swords for me. So part of this, I feel like there was this situation in your past where it was like you and some other person, and there was a conversation that should have been happening between two people, but you had to finish it inside your own head, and likely that was a parasitic relationship. And because of the conclusion that you have reached in your own mind, that is what is leading you to revenge. All right, let's see here. Chariot. So there could be some sort of movement, moving forward. Like, honestly, the emotional root is that you are moving forward with revenge. And the thing is, this parasitic energy, Two of Wands in reverse, could have been a twin flame situation that kept you stuck. I remember last month it was like being stuck in the woods or whatever. And I remember this coming out. It's like someone told you to just sort of stay put and, you know, I'll come back and get you or whatever it is. And you're recognizing that that was a very parasitic sort of thing to just keep you stuck, rooted there, but you weren't growing. So you're really moving on. But the thing is, the way you're moving on, your heart is just filled with revenge here. Tell me more about this situation. The Seven of Cups in reverse. Yeah, this is retrograde energy. So this is another lesson that you're sort of relearning. And I feel like it's like the same things that are coming up. Seven of Cups for me is emotional relationships when it comes to a one-on-one partnership. But in this deck specifically, I take it as, you know, emotional understanding and the way that you understand how your own emotions change due to the astrological transits. Because it's coming out in reverse, that's the retrogrades, right? So I do feel like there's a lot going on, right? I mentioned the Pluto. So check your chart where these retrogrades are happening. Pluto's retrograding in Capricorn. Like I said, I think it's 24 degrees or something. Saturn is retrograding in Aquarius, currently at 12 degrees. Jupiter is retrograding in Pisces, currently at 2 or 1 degree. And Neptune is retrograding, I believe, at like 22, 23 degrees Pisces. So check in your chart, see what's going on. If you need assistance, of course, you know I do astrology services. So maybe I'll do a little special about the retrogrades. All right, let's see. What's the light energy? Dreepy using quick attack in reverse. Yeah, this is not something that is going to happen quickly. And I feel like your sense of urgency, now that you have understood the parasitic nature of getting stuck to that stoop and told not to leave, and now you're finally free. The thing is, it's like, okay, I just need to go quick. You know what I mean? And taking the fastest route is not always the best, right? Certainly not for our highest vibrational timeline. There's something to be said about, you know, this lotus flower and letting it sort of bloom, letting your highest vibrational timeline bloom on its own. But I definitely feel this sort of rush energy. And I feel like your mind, how do I want to put this? Your mind just wants to move on from it. And the conclusion that is reached is revenge, just because that's the quickest solution of like, they did this, I'm going to get them back. It says, after being reborn as a ghost Pokemon, Dreepy wanders the areas it used to inhabit back when it was alive in the prehistoric seas. Yeah, so I definitely get some, you know, ancestral stuff coming up with the prehistoric seas. But, you know, talking about being reborn again as the Pokemon or as a ghost, like I said, there was some sort of conversation that you had to have in your own head. And it was reborn in your third eye as a ghost of the past. And it's really facilitating this type of energy. And the thing is like, I just read something about Dreepy. It's like it's a Pokemon, and it searches to find this other Pokemon that it like is attached to its head. And if it can't find one, it will just sort of attach itself to anything. It's a very codependent type energy. And it feels like you're trying to move on from this. And I understand the revenge, but how do I want to say this? Even if you're the host of a parasitic relationship, you know, there's something to be said about allowing yourself to be the host, right? It's not that you have to feel any guilt or shame about it, but also it was a mutually agreed upon sort of thing, right? Until it wasn't. And it just feels like they did me wrong. It's like, yeah, but actually it's a reflection of you doing yourself wrong, which is okay. You can still forgive yourself and move on. But it just feels like all you want to do is hurt hurt someone else. Let's see, what's the shadow here? Crazy Spore and Sneasel using Slash. Yeah, so we have a Mungus coming out here, which is telling me, you know, very ancient knowledge with Mushroom Spirit coming out. Crazy Spore I always take as, you know, like your heart kind of going a little bit crazy. And it can go crazy when it's in fear, right? And because of that, it's trying to spore out and touch other heart chakras around it, which is great. So it's like you're trying to, you know, connect to other people's heart chakras, but it seems to be through an air of revenge. There is, you know, a certain level of deception of what you're trying to actually get here, because Among Us, even though it's a, you know, mushroom spirit, it looks like a Pokeball, which is used to catch Pokemon. So, you know, it lays in the grass and pretends to look like a Pokeball so that trainers go and try to get it. Right? But then it's like, oh, surprise, it's actually a mushroom that's going to spore all over you, sort of thing. So there is a certain level of deception of what you're actually trying to get. Because remember, anything that you put out, you're going to get back. So if you're trying to get revenge on someone, likely someone's going to be trying to get revenge on you for whatever reason, right? Especially with this authoritarian, you know, burn it down. It's like, you're perpetuating this cycle of like, that's unfair, kind of look what they did, now we need revenge on them, you know what I mean? It's kind of that like two tribes are constantly going to war and just hate each other forever. That's kind of how it feels. It says, it lures its prey close by dancing and waving its arm caps, which resembles Pokeballs in a swaying motion. Yeah, exactly. So you're trying to lure in prey with heart connections, but it still seems to be with an air of revenge rather than actual love. We have Sneasel using Slash. So this is saying, you know, this is some dark energy again that has slashed the heart, basically. We saw that some dark energy had split something into two, and it feels like it's your heart that broke it, and it hasn't been mended, because the way you're trying to mend it is by making someone else feel your pain and get revenge, rather than actually forgiving yourself and healing your own heart. So it says, it has a cunning yet savage disposition. Yeah, Sag, I know you do. It waits for parents to leave their nests, then it sneaks in to steal their eggs. Wow. Whew. Yeah. So this is definitely very, very vengeful. It's kind of like, you don't even want these people to exist on this planet, is what I'm getting. You don't value their life in some sort of way, because it's talking about stealing eggs. And like I said, you know, it's like building a world for a better tomorrow. And it feels like you're doing it for your children or your future children, which is wonderful. But it's like you're trying to burn a certain group of people or situation, or maybe a family, or, you know, people that you don't like, and make sure that they can't even like reproduce and things. Like, this is a very, they must pay, and they must pay by not existing kind of energy here, Sag. Wow. That's intense. Whew. Like I said, in the extended, we're going to see how we can heal this emotional root, and then we will see some advice on how to manifest the highest vibrational timeline here. All right, let's see. You are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. So the full moon in Virgo happens in Pisces season, and I feel like there was something that happened around there that maybe it made you feel like you weren't good enough in some sort of way. So, you know, a good thing to focus on is understand that you are good enough. You're good enough for everything that you want. And if someone made you feel like you weren't good enough, and the way that you're going to try to prove them is by cutting them down, is that really going to make you feel like you're feeling better? You know? And I feel like, yeah, the trains are coming in. I feel like this is, yeah, balance, spirituality, and practicality. Like, I feel like this is your ancestors coming in. I got the same sort of vibes, how it's like that ancient CD and with the moon. And I feel like your ancestors are trying to reach you, especially if they have Virgo placements. Like, you know, Virgo is all about the innocence, right? It's the virgin, which is a construct, but still, you know, there's something to be said about the you know, experiencing something for the first time. That's why Virgo is so inquisitive. That's why it's so curious. That's why it wants information so it can sort and discern and create, you know, logic and create systems that make sense. And I feel like your ancestors really want to help you feel like you're good enough, you know, with a very innocent sort of quality to it. And like I said, the full moon in Virgo happens in Pisces season, and here we have the full moon in Pisces, which happens in Virgo season. So I feel like there's a big cycle that is going to be closed up for you on the Pisces full moon, which is only, you know, 2 seasons from now, right? We have Cancer season right now, then we have Leo season, and then Virgo season. So it does feel like there's something going on. Check what is happening in Pisces and Virgo axis in your chart. You know, what houses it's hitting, if you have placements there. You know, it probably, the Jupiter and Neptune retrogrades in Pisces might have something to do with it, but it's talking about balancing your spirituality and practicality, and it feels like that's kind of what this is, right? The High Priestess is all about the spirituality. The Emperor is all about practicality, right? He wants his kingdom. Okay, well, it's like, you don't agree? Well, then I'm going to use my power to destroy you on the feminine and masculine end. And that's not really, you know, balancing the, you know, spirituality with practicality, because it looks like it's perpetuating a cycle of revenge here. So very interesting messages going into the extended Sagittarius. I almost said Scorpio. So if you have Scorpio placements, I suggest you check that out. But wow. Yeah, so we're going to head into the extended. If you'd like to follow me there, the link is in the description box below. But if we part ways here, good luck with the situation. I am sending you so, so much love, a big hug, and a kiss on your third eye. Mwah!